Untie knots with the power of strengthening prayer to Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots. Welcome to our channel of faith and hope, where prayers become powerful tools for overcoming life's challenges. Today, we embark on a journey of spiritual liberation, guided by the profound strength of prayer. In a world filled with knots of doubt, fear, and uncertainty, we turn to the unwavering intercession of Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots to untangle the complexities that bind our souls. With each prayer uttered, we invoke the divine presence of Saint George, the valiant warrior, and Our Lady Untier of Knots, the gentle healer. Their combined forces offer us solace and empowerment, enabling us to navigate the twists and turns of life with renewed vigor and unwavering faith. As we delve into the depths of this sacred practice, let us release the knots that hinder our progress and embrace the freedom that comes with divine intervention. Together, let us embark on a journey of spiritual renewal, where every knot undone signifies a step closer to inner peace and enlightenment. Join us as we unravel the knots of despair and usher in a new era of hope and redemption. Like threads woven together in the fabric of existence, our prayers intertwine with the divine, creating a tapestry of miracles and blessings. But our journey does not end here. We invite you to be an integral part of this transformative experience. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, spreading the message of faith and hope to all who seek solace in the power of prayer. Together, let us unlock the boundless potential of our souls and embrace the liberating power of prayer. Join us as we embark on this sacred quest to untie knots and unleash the boundless blessings of Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots upon our lives. Welcome to a sanctuary of prayer, where miracles happen and knots are untied. Welcome to our channel of faith and hope. Divine Saint George and Blessed Lady Untier of Knots, in the midst of life's tangled web, we come before you seeking solace, guidance, and liberation. As we embark on this sacred journey of prayer, we invoke your powerful intercession to unravel the knots that bind our hearts and minds. Saint George, noble warrior and protector, we call upon your strength and valor to break through the barriers of doubt and fear that confine us. With your mighty sword, cleave through the knots of adversity and uncertainty, paving the way for clarity and courage to emerge. Blessed Lady Untier of Knots, gentle healer and untangler of souls, we implore your tender touch to dissolve the knots of pain and anguish that weigh heavy upon us. With your gentle hands, unravel the threads of despair and confusion, replacing them with strands of hope and peace. Together, Saint George and Lady Untier of Knots, we entrust our burdens into your loving care. Untie the knots of anxiety and worry that constrict our hearts, allowing us to breathe freely once more. Release the knots of resentment and anger that poison our relationships, fostering forgiveness and reconciliation in their place. As we kneel before you in prayer, we surrender our struggles and tribulations, knowing that in your divine presence, all knots can be undone. Grant us the wisdom to recognize the knots that bind us, and the courage to surrender them into your hands. With each recitation of our prayers, let the knots loosen, and our spirits soar. May the power of our collective faith serve as a beacon of light in the darkness, guiding us through life's twists and turns with unwavering trust and resilience. Divine Saint George and Blessed Lady Untier of Knots, hear our supplications and petitions. Untie the knots of sickness and disease that afflict our bodies, restoring us to health and vitality. Untie the knots of doubt and insecurity that cloud our minds, instilling within us a sense of purpose and clarity. As we stand on the threshold of transformation, we affirm our belief in the miraculous power of prayer. With every knot unraveled, may we experience a profound sense of liberation and renewal, knowing that with your divine assistance, all things are possible. In your holy names, Saint George and Lady Untier of Knots, we offer this prayer with faith and gratitude. Untie our knots, O divine ones, and set us free to walk the path of joy, abundance, and spiritual fulfillment. We recognize the daily battle. Much like Saint George faced the dragon, we beseech you, celestial warrior, may your virtues inspire us to overcome envious enemies. Let the courage you emanate be our strength in adversity, untying the bonds that seek to restrain us. With humility, we turn to Our Lady Untier of Knots, compassionate Mother who unravels complications. As we utter your name, we feel the gentleness of your intervention. Untie, Mary, the knots that bind us to envy and malevolence, guiding us toward spiritual freedom. Now, under the sacred mantle of Saint George and Our Lady, we raise a celestial shield. May this protection be our refuge against all forms of evil seeking to assail us. May the light emanating from these divine intercessors dissolve the shadows seeking to obscure our journey. Divine intercessors, untie the internal knots. May doubt and fear dissolve, giving way to peace and harmony. May the divine light fill every corner of our being, guiding us to the serenity that resides within the depths of our soul. Under the divine aura of Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots, we seek a prayer that transcends earthly boundaries and connects us to the sacred. In our hearts, the flame of faith ignites, preparing the ground for the spiritual liberation unfolding before us. We humbly beseech Saint George, much like he faced the dragon, to inspire our overcoming of envious adversaries. Let the courage he emanates be our solace amid adversity, breaking the chains attempting to confine us. With humility, we turn to Our Lady Untier of Knots, compassionate Mother who untangles life's intricate complications. As we utter your name, we feel the gentleness of your presence. Untie, Mary, the ties that bind us to envy and malevolence, leading us to the fullness of spiritual freedom. Now, under the sacred mantle of Saint George and Our Lady, we lift a celestial shield. May this protection be our sanctuary against all forms of evil seeking to harm us. May the light streaming from these divine intercessors dispel the shadows seeking to darken our path. We implore the divine intercessors to untie the internal knots. May doubt and apprehension dissipate, making room for peace and harmony. May the divine light permeate every corner of our being, guiding us to the tranquility that dwells within the core of our soul. In this solemn moment, we immerse ourselves in the transcendent aura of Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots, seeking a prayer that transcends the boundaries of earthly existence, connecting us to the divine in a profound and meaningful way. In our hearts, the fervent flame of faith intensifies, preparing the fertile ground for the spiritual liberation unfolding before us. With humility, we address Our Lady Untier of Knots, compassionate Mother whose intervention unravels life's intricate complications. As we utter your name, we sense the delicacy of your presence. Untie, Mary, the knots that keep us bound to envy and malevolence, leading us to the fullness of spiritual freedom. Now, under the sacred mantle woven around us by Saint George and Our Lady, we raise a celestial shield. May this protection be our unwavering refuge against all forms of evil that persist in striking us. May the light emanating from these divine intercessors dissolve the shadows, revealing an illuminated path on our journey. In deep introspection, we beseech the divine intercessors to untie the internal knots we've constructed. May doubt and fear dissipate, making room for the fullness of inner peace and harmony. May the divine light fill every corner of our being, guiding us to the serenity that resides at the core of our soul. We express deep gratitude to Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots for the transformative presence they emanate. May every uttered word resonate throughout the universe, unraveling the ties that limit us and echoing like a song of freedom. Let us share this prayer, spreading light and liberation to all who cross our path. As we contemplate the imposing figure of Saint George, we invoke his courage to face the contemporary dragons that rise in our paths. May we, like him, overcome challenges with bravery, untying the bonds that seek to weaken us. The Virgin Mary, Our Lady Untier of Knots, reveals herself as the peacemaker within. May her divine intervention untie the internal knots we carry, freeing us from the anxieties that often obscure our peace of mind. Under celestial power, we trust in Saint George and Our Lady as guardians against negative energies. May this spiritual shield, woven with threads of faith, be impenetrable in the face of the world's hostilities, untying the chains of evil that seek to strike us. Entering into this prayer, allow us a deep dive into serenity. As we untie the internal knots, may we attain true freedom, transmuting the limitations that hinder our spiritual growth. Saint George, with his sharp sword, symbolizes the courage to face our own inner dragons. As we utter his name, may we feel the intrinsic strength that propels us to overcome obstacles, untying the bonds of fear and self-doubt. Our Lady Untier of Knots, in her maternal benevolence, unravels the entanglements that imprison our thoughts. As we surrender to her intercession, may we experience mental and emotional freedom, untying the invisible knots that hinder our progress. This moment of prayer is an invitation to spiritual renewal. As we raise the protective shield of Saint George and Our Lady, we untie the bonds that tie us to the past, allowing us to move forward with lightness and determination. We ask Saint George and Our Lady to untie the knots of interpersonal relationships, dissipating misunderstandings and strengthening the bonds of love and understanding. May harmony reign, untying the tensions that may have formed. In concluding this prayer, we radiate gratitude to Saint George and Our Lady Untier of Knots, aware that their blessings untie the impediments surrounding us. May the divine light descend upon us, untying all knots, bringing liberation and peace to each of us.